It took less than, I don't know, 48 hours from Tucker Carlson saying, hey, maybe the FBI did an insurrection, to now it's just every Republican. Every Republican seems to agree with it. And they started at the bottom, so here's Louis Gohmert.
So if there were federal agents that were involved on January 6th, we really need to know what the FBI knew and when they knew it. And not only that, we need to know how much participation did any of our federal friends, either at DOJ, FBI, or any of the intel community, what kind of role were they playing?
Okay, I have a couple of quick questions. So first of all, I need to know what Louis Gohmert knew, if anything, and when he knew it before he forgot it, because he doesn't appear to know anything. Also, dude, you got questions, you know what answer them? Maybe some sort of commission. Like, they love to talk about like, no commission, and here's my list of questions. I have so many. And by the way, like, so they throw out the FBI did it, or I don't know, the CIA did it, or maybe it was the NRO or the NSA. I don't know, it was something. Any of this is possible, by the way. There are many things that could occur in this world, but I know this, they don't have any more reason to believe that it was one of those groups than I do that it was the Forest Service. We watched Tucker Carlson come up with it on air. He started one section of a monologue saying maybe the FBI was involved, and like a minute and a half later, he said they were involved. And then the next day he said, it's on you to prove that they weren't. That's not how anything involved in truth telling or truth discovering actually works. So is it possible? Sure, as we'll get into, it's not like the FBI and other groups haven't gotten involved in things like this before to make groups look bad historically. But there is no evidence yet that that's true, except like we're throwing these concerns out. Louis Gohmert's already on the House floor, and we got more coming. It's just a thing now. There's no pumping the brakes on this, it feels like.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you guys why they've switched the FBI in a second. But first of all, I disagree with John. I think you could just make up who's responsible, then they have to prove that they didn't do it. So the person I'm making up is Tucker Carlson. I think he mainly orchestrated the Capitol riots along with Antifa, tourists, and the FBI. And then he spearheaded all of them. He's like, tourists, you go left. Antifa, you go right. FBI, right up the middle. Okay, and Tucker was the mastermind behind it. I dare him. He said, look, he's got to prove it wasn't him. He's got to prove it.
Just prove it. Why not? Why not prove it?
But why won't you prove it, Tucker? Why won't you prove it? It's getting weird out here, okay? I love that, and it actually is, as somebody pointed out in social media, yes, sometimes actually positive things happen in social media, though it's rare. They're like, when I pointed out, wait, you guys got to make up your mind. Is it Antifa? Is it tourists? Or is it the FBI, right? And one of the commenters said, no, actually it's part and parcel of propaganda to get you to believe two completely different things about the same phenomenon. Because once it's part of the trick is to get you to divorce yourself from logic, reason, and reality. And then they replace it with propaganda. So then you'll believe anything, that it was a tourist dressed as Antifa, disguised as FBI. And they go, yeah, obviously, right? Now, but this is gonna take a dark turn in a second, but I agree with John. Louis Gohmert's like, what did the FBI know and when did they know it? If only there was a commission to study what happened on that day. Louis, this is a little embarrassing. You voted against that commission. But remember, Louis is mental. Look, I don't know if he's like a deranged liar or just deranged, but I'm going with just deranged. He's the guy who gave the speech about how Barack Obama was reconstituting the Ottoman Empire. Okay, now at the end of Obama,
that would have made you very happy. You would have voted Obama for a third term, Jake, wouldn't you?
We're back, baby. No, I would not have wanted that. Anyway, so, but at the end of Obama's second term, the Ottoman Empire remained entirely unreconstituted. Okay, they were not put back together, etc. But no amount of right-wing conspiracy theories being debunked ever convinces them that the next one isn't going to be true. like Donald Trump is retaking office, Obama setting up FEMA camps, etc. It doesn't matter. They're not, and this is what's really trippy, and it's really hard for all of us to wrap our mind around it. They just don't care what's true. They don't care at all what's true. And it's amazing. Now the dark turn. Why are they replacing the tourist theory and the Antifa theory with the FBI theory? Because they've given up on democracy and they are now agitating towards getting everybody to fight the tyranny of government. And so Matt Gaetz talking about Second Amendment rights need to be used against the tyranny of government. Then Representative Cawthorn yesterday, we covered on the show, talking about its Second Amendment is not for hunting, it's to use against the tyranny of the government. 28% of Republicans say it might be time for violence. And now here comes Tucker Carlson saying, now if you're really upset at anyone, it should be the FBI. And they do seem a little tyrannical. So this is headed down a very dark path.
And it's like you took the words out of my mouth, Cenk, because I'm confused by the idea of right wingers discrediting the police, the FBI, the cops. Like the idea that, we live in a world where right wingers find the FBI to not be credible, and they're part of some fake insurrection to make right wingers look bad. I never thought I would see this world. Now, are they gonna follow that logic to, them inventing fake terrorists out of whole cloth, like the FBI doing that practice where they like give people bombs and guns and be like, hey, you wanna blow stuff up? Then lock them up and say that they're locking terrorists up? Or are we gonna erode their credibility when it comes to basically prosecuting and fighting a sham drug war in which literally millions of black people and brown people have been incarcerated for decades behind? I mean, if we're in the process of discrediting the FBI, let's freaking do it. But the idea that, again, the right wing is no longer pro FBI, i.e. no longer pro cop, is just staggering to me.
I sort of doubt it. I feel like it's gonna end up like Tucker Carlson every 4.5 weeks says something about how he doesn't like the ruling elites, and then he pushes for every economic interest the ruling elites have. It's fake, it's not substantive, it's convenient and timely.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.